I got caught off in that last one, so I've got a couple little separate ones here. But Truman and Eisenhower are both going to acknowledge that although America is very prosperous in the post-war years, and there's this rise of white-collar jobs and all of these babies being born with soldiers coming back home and settling down and starting families, there is not an extension of benefits to everyone. And so that is something that both of those presidents will attempt to address to varying degrees of success. This is also the time of the rise of the suburbs, the white picket fence, the cookie cutter houses, and I've got a couple little clips I want to play for you. The first is a song called Little Boxes, which is a really famous song from the 1950s describing sort of how everyone in society is starting to look and behave the same and even live in the same sort of way. And the second is a commercial for newly built housing communities.
Little boxes on the hillside, little boxes made of ticky-tacky, little boxes on the hillside, little boxes all the same. There's a pink one and a green one and a blue one and a yellow one, and they're all made out of ticky-tacky and they all look just the same. And the people in the houses all went to the university where they were put in boxes and they came out all the same. And there's doctors and lawyers and business executives, and they're all made out of ticky-tacky and they all look just the same. And they all play on the golf course and drink their martinis dry, and they all have pretty children, and the children go to school, and the children go to summer camp, and then to the university where they are put in boxes and they come out all the same. And the boys go into business and marry and raise a family in boxes made of ticky-tacky, and they all look just the same. There's a pink one and a green one and a blue one and a yellow one, and they're all made out of ticky-tacky and they all look just the same.
5 years ago, this was a vast checkerboard of potato farms on New York's Long Island. Today, a community of 60,000 persons living in 15,000 homes, all built by one firm. This is Levittown, one of the most remarkable housing developments ever conceived. The idea that came to a man named Bill Levitt was this: why not apply to the building of houses the same principles that have brought other American industries to their unexcelled peaks of efficiency and service? Why not mass produce the elements that go to make up a house, just as the auto industry does with the parts that go into a new car? Bill Levitt had some other ideas. Put kitchen and bathroom back to back and let them share the same plumbing. Let your plumbers do their work without interruption and without waiting for the carpenter or the bricklayer to get out of the way. Pre-cut your lumber so it's all ready to be assembled into the frame of a house. With the waste removed, one truck can deliver to the building site all the rough lumber that will go into 2 complete Levitt homes. It's really a matter of organization and planning, getting rid of waste motion. When the foundation is ready, coils for the radiant heating are there. Not a day too soon or a day too late. Without delay, the steam fitters finish their work and move on to the next house, and right behind them come the masons to lay the underflooring. Power-driven trowels make the job a lot easier and faster. Levittown houses are not prefabricated. Prefabrication means a factory operation in which large quantities of materials are kept moving to the workers. Here, the opposite is true. The construction crews are moved to a waiting line of materials. This sort of organization and efficiency is all important in the vast defense housing program. That's the next order of business for the nation's home builders. The architecture of the houses in Levittown is varied enough to eliminate dreary monotony, while at the same time enough alike to permit the savings that result from standardization. Many housing projects are a sea of mud when it rains, but not this one. A wide range of color schemes also brings variety. So here's the home that cost its happy owners just $9,000. And that includes such extras as a completely equipped kitchen, a two-way fireplace, a finished room in the attic, and even a washing machine. The living room. Levittown is a community of young people, and that means a great need for schools. Space has been set aside for plenty of them. Dotted here and there throughout the huge area are shopping centers where every type of product or service is readily available. Shoe stores, five and dimes, department stores, supermarkets, and banks. In addition, there are other facilities designed to draw residents together to help make them feel they are part of a real community. Recreation centers with provisions for filling leisure hours, summer or winter. Yes, that old potato patch has come to a good end.
All right, so the rise of the suburbs. The 1952 election was hardly a contest. The Republican candidate, Dwight Eisenhower, was so popular that both the Democratic and Republican parties actually courted him to be their candidate. Eisenhower, whose nickname was Ike, charmed the public with his friendly smile, reassuring personality, and record of service and honesty. The Democratic candidate, Adlai Stevenson, a senator from Illinois, failed to catch the popular imagination in the way Eisenhower did. The 1950s marked a period of changing national population distribution. We talked about the movement to the suburbs. Rural regions also suffered the most dramatic decline in population, but people came by the thousands from older industrial cities, seeking, as one father put it, a place where a kid could grow up with grass stains on his pants. That's the American dream even today. The 4-bedroom house, the 2.5 kids, this is where this idea starts. And older industrial cities lose their populations and the suburbs grow. For much of our history, Americans have been taught to save their money. A penny saved is a penny earned, Franklin said. However, as the U.S. economy began to boom in the post-war era, Americans were caught up in a wave of consumerism, buying as much as they could, much of it on credit. What accounted for this spending spree? There's more things available. There's not as much money. How are you buying these things? How are people affording these homes, these cars, these toasters? They're buying on credit. Look at these exciting new colors to glorify your kitchen. New household appliances of the 1950s used the latest technology to reduce the daily burden of household chores and improve Americans' standard of living. American society had been shaken to its core by the mass mobilizations and distribution brought about by World War II. As Americans readjusted to life in peacetime, they embraced traditional ideas of family life and community. Women in the 50s were encouraged to return to traditional family roles by staying home to raise families. Women in the workplace, you can see how it is increasing. As the economy grew, so did opportunities for Americans to attain higher education. A more educated workforce boosted economic productivity. In 1940, only about 15% of college-age Americans attended college. But by the early 1960s, close to 40% did. The percentage of Americans who completed high school also rose sharply. The astonishing growth of education in the late 1940s and thereafter seemed yet another sign that the American dream was well and alive. In 1938, TV is growing, right? When television was just a curiosity, the author of Charlotte's Web said, "Is going to be the test of the modern world. We shall stand or fall by the television." Think about how accurate that was. There's the rise of TV dinners and the family gathering together around their favorite television program one of the most famous of which was I Love Lucy. I won't play this one clip. Maybe I'll post it on Schoology for y'all.
Where's the girl? She said, you got to say for yourself.
Hello, friends. I'm your Vitamina Vegemin girl. Are you